Nine Kings is basically a roguelike where you build a kingdom and watch it grow into something completely ridiculous. The premise is simple. You're one of 9 kings trying to become the ultimate ruler by defeating all the others, but the execution gets wonderfully out of hand. You start with a deck of cards that represent different buildings, military units, and magic spells. Each turn you place these cards on a grid to build your kingdom, kind of like a city builder meets a deck builder. Your buildings do things like buff nearby units or generate resources, while your troops form an army that automatically fights against other kings' forces. The placement matters too. A blacksmith surrounded by 4 units buffs all of them, while a cemetery next to your front line spawns new troops whenever adjacent units die. What's really wild about this game is how it lets you completely break everything. You start with some basic imps that do minimal damage, but through clever placement and card combinations, those same imps can end up dealing millions of damage per hit. The game actively encourages you to find these broken combinations. It's actually part of the fun, not something the developers try to patch out. The combat happens automatically once you've set up your forces. Your units march towards the enemy and fight it out based on their stats and abilities. Some units explode on death, others heal themselves with each attack, and certain buildings continuously make your troops stronger every single turn. Battles usually start close, but by late game your army can steamroll everything in seconds. After beating an enemy king, you get to steal one of their cards, which opens up new combo possibilities. You can also choose to make peace with certain kings if you don't want their cards cluttering up your deck. This lets you craft exactly the kind of broken build you're going for. For example, perhaps you only want attack speed buffs and explosive units, so you make peace with kings who offer defensive cards. Each of the 9 playable kings has their own starting deck and theme. The King of Blood uses demons and sacrificial mechanics, and others focus on stuff like gold generation, nature buffs, or pure military might. The game becomes about finding the most absurd combinations possible, like having hundreds of thieves that move at lightning speed and one-shot everything, or creating an army of bombers that get exponentially stronger every turn. As you progress, you'll also unlock permanent perks between runs that make future attempts even more broken. The cards themselves can be leveled up multiple times. The numbers get so huge that they literally overflow the display. Some players have actually reported damage numbers so large they cover multiple lines of text, reaching into scientific numbers per hit. And that's not a bug, it's the whole point. The game wants you to push everything to its absolute limit and see just how broken you can make your kingdom. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.